Hey! Here's Captain K. Ahoy, landlubbers, and welcome to my Factorio Let's Play. Welcome back. The last episode was a base tour, and after that I went on holidays. I went to France, to the Bretagne, and I was living like a French king. Nah, seriously, they have such good food up there, especially if you like seafood. You should definitely check it out. But now we're back on Factorio. I put this base layout on Reddit and I got some awesome feedback from the peeps there. So what they said is that the oil setup is a bit tight, and yes, that's right. We don't have much space to expand up here, but I think with the smart oil cracking and well, we'll see. But I think it should be fine, but we'll see once this how it performs once this factory is under heavier load. Also, they said that probably the space for the red circuits is too little because they're awful slow. I mean, yes, I put into productivity module, they slow it down by minus 15% each, but I mean, regularly they take 8 seconds to produce, so they take an awful long time to produce. So we'll certainly expand this and then see we can quadruple this setup here, and then we'll see whether it's enough or not for all of these modules back here. Also off camera I've done a lot of research. I researched the modules, and I researched the power armor 1 and the shields, so that we get a bit more tanky. So we'll do that as well. So let's while we're here set up the modules. That's gonna be speed modules 2. Here we're gonna produce efficiency module 2, and over here the productivity module 2. There we go. And the one in the middle is for the third tier. I also placed down a few more roboports, so we got this nice hexagonal pattern, this TIE fighter wing pattern. Research is done, and now let's start researching effect transmission. Because I also made a bit space here to place down beacons, so we can also start to boost all of that stuff with the effect transmission. Otherwise, things are rather quiet. I get little attacks. I got attacked a bit over here. Let's switch to the map. So they were expanding and bugging me on this border, but otherwise it's rather quiet. I also plan on placing down a few flamethrower turrets here, so we'll see how that goes, because yeah, I got most attacks on this border. And then we'll have to start to expand. I want to grab this huge copper patch, but also we're slowly running out of iron. The next little patch is here. It's only to bridge until we get more supplies, so we'll have to grab these patches soon, and then I don't know, once we get this one we can calm down a bit before then attacking all of the stuff down here. And of course also this oil, that's when we're gonna move this border. So in this episode we're gonna expand a lot. Let's build this to the full size. Oh, and also I'm gonna research the personal roboport, and then we're gonna expand all of that with blueprints. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mirror all of that, and then we'll also see how well this factory design performs under heavy load. It's supposed to be like that. There we go. And like that. So right now the greens aren't produced fast enough, but once we double this up, let's see how well things go. There we go, research done. Let's research the personal roboports, yay. Another feedback that I got was that my science setup is supposed to be insufficient. The science loop that I have down there, let me quickly place down a few iron chests. There we go. And connect this with power. And that looks like we are running out of power, so let me check my emergency steam setup in a second. There we go, so this is up and running. Oh, let's not forget to limit the chests. There we go. So my steam engines have kicked in because my accumulator power was going too low. That means I need to expand my solar panel field up here, so we'll do that as well. So as I said, here's the science setup. I expanded the blue science a bit because apparently I didn't really pay attention to that. These one take 5 seconds to produce, these one 6, and they need 12, so a ratio of 5 to 6 to 12 would be excellent. So this here is probably overkill. They're gonna produce more than these labs can use, but they've been constantly researching and the science loop has never gone empty. So I could have made this a lot smaller, this whole cell. But yeah, well, it doesn't really matter. So let's expand that. And switch the plastic to this side. And while we're here and we do have a chemical plant, let's increase the production of plastic. And by looking at my red circuit production, the guys from Reddit seem to be right. The production is way too slow. They can't keep up with the demand. As soon as I need few blue chips, run out of red. And with all the modules that we're gonna produce back here, we'll definitely need to expand this. So with the effect transmission that we have researched, we're gonna place down beacons. And soon we will be able to create assembling machine 3. And with that we can even further speed it up. Then we'll expand it to the full size and see how things are going. But now for something completely different. I did build the power armor. So we jumped directly from non-armor at all to the power armor. And we're gonna fill it up with a fusion reactor. Finally have those exoskeleton to increase walking speed. Have shields, a roboport, and some batteries. Is that sufficient to fill up? Shields are charging. Ah, the roboport is still charging. Ooh, and with the roboport we can finally start to use all of the blueprints. This one has been built in a way so that it's tileable. So let's make good use of that actually. Do some minor preparation before we do that. We want to have these expanded, right? And I might have to remove this one temporarily, just for the sake of the blueprint. And now they go up. Yes, this apply like this. So that should be ready. And the blueprint's gonna be like that. Perfect. That's gonna be the green circuit production. There we go. And this is now perfectly tileable. There we go. This one actually here we don't need. Let's revert that. There. Now on to the next. The blueprint for the red circuits. Did we alter anything here? No, we didn't. Oh, except for these. Let me remove that for a second, just to create the blueprint. And this one, I think, shouldn't include the copper belts, or I'm just gonna do it like that. Let's remove this one for purpose of the blueprint. There we go. Here, here, here. That. That looks fine. That looks perfect. That's gonna be the red circuit production. There we go. And this one is tileable as well. Let's revert that and restore the pipe here. And while we're at it, let's do the blueprint for the advanced electronic circuits, or the processing units. Like that, I guess. No, this one isn't right. Okay, so before we can make the blueprint, we'll have to adjust that. This should do. And it was this, wasn't it? That looks about right. Except for that. Must be a bug. So this is the processing units. There we go. And that one is nicely tileable as well. Awesome. Here again, let's restore that. So we're good to expand all of this. We don't have a need to expand any of that or this for now. So we'll just keep things as they are. We have sufficient green ones, but since we don't have sufficient red ones, let's start expand this. And it's gonna be like that, isn't it? Two inserters are missing, here and here. There we go. And we're out of the modules again. I think we could start with the production of barrels. There we go. Won't need this one, that one, and everything looks like it's up and running. Let's repeat the pattern for the beacons. Here, and the last one is going here. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 beacons. And let's see how things are right now. Situation is a little better here. Oh dear. And of course the production of the red circuits is slow, because I noticed that all of these assembling machines are lacking an inserter. Also, you might have noticed that I didn't see that those assembling machines were in place because the belt was going through, so I fixed that as well. So they now have copper wires, and all of the copper wire assemblers have copper as input. And another little thing that I saw is like this belt was going up too far, feeding into the plastic, so all of my plastic is now wrecked, so I gotta clean that. But after that, things should be nice and running, and this one is already producing more. And in the meantime, as you can see, I also placed down some concrete. So let's make sure all of that plastic is clean. Always be careful where you place your belts. There we go, so this looks clean now. Let's put the plastic back. There we go. And now the red circuit production should be alright. Now, while we're expanding, let's also expand the oil network up here. So we increase those tanks and those, and the automatic setup was working well before I placed these tanks. This one was converting. Let's also place down 2 more chemical plants. So we there they are. So it cracks oil faster when we need it. That means 1 here and 1 here. Let's make sure they hooked up correctly. This one is receiving water and light oil. Perfect. They're both powered by the switch. And this one looks like it's lacking water, as well as the heavy oil. Like this, and there, so this one is hooked up as well. Perfect, so we got faster cracking. And soon we're gonna expand the oil network because we're running pretty dry here. Let me quickly place those tanks and then check. So this is gonna be the crude oil storage, and we're gonna feed this from this station here to be built. That has to be built, because here we are running dry. They're all down to 0.1 per second. So the next episode, probably, or maybe the one after, we're gonna get a hold on one of these oil cells down here, set up a train, set up an oil station, and then we place down more refineries to boost all of the oil setup up. This space here is reserved for the solid rocket fuel that we're gonna need, and depending on the ratios, right now we have a lot of light oil, so we might run the flamethrower turrets off of the light oil as well. So let's see how we're gonna set up these on our southern perimeter. Here we go. I was fiddling around with a few blueprints, and I found a nice setup that works with the double wall, the laser turrets, and the flamethrower turrets. It was a little more difficult for the diagonal section. I came up with this, and I'm quite happy. So this is what the straight section is going to look like. I built it in a way that I have space to fill in more turrets here, and even a whole second row there, laser turrets. If necessary, I should be able to squeeze in one more flamethrower turret here and here, so like to make this pair more dense. Over here with the diagonal section, I came up with this. Here as well, I've got space for more laser turrets, and even add a second row here or there. I think it was there. So this is going to be the front row, and I can reinforce it with turrets here. And should it be necessary, I think I could squeeze in more flamethrower turrets around this location. Right now it looks like this. and it's working. We're feeding it with light oil. Now let's use that pattern and complete the straight wall section down here so that we're safe from the biter attacks. Let's see. Here we go. This one we don't need. The rest is looking fine. Oh no, it was off a little. That's wrong. It's not fine. I wanted to have... Let's see, I think my first turret here. Yeah, like that. That's it. There we go. So let's expand that pattern. And here we might have to remove turrets like this one. And that's one too many. Right, like that. And especially down here where I get the most attacks, I want it all with flamethrower turrets. And then we'll see how their next attack wave is gonna look like. And there's the attack wave we were waiting for. Let them burn. So yeah, I'd say the flamethrower turrets work quite well, and our defense on the southern perimeter is sufficient. And with that, I'm gonna finish for today. This was Captain Concept. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. It'll help me out tremendously. And whatever you do, make sure you always got a hands width of water on your keel. Arrgh.